Hello from a very cold Costa Brava. So yes, winter stuff is being worn by everybody, and it has been a hot La Liga weekend though, with a lot of stories. And we have to start in one place. We have to start at the Camp Nou. What a performance from Leo Messi. Now, we've said a lot of things. I've said a lot of things, particularly in my authorized biography. 600 pages of things have been said about Leo Messi, but there's still new things to write about him, of course, and new things to mention. Hence, by the way, me updating the Messi book, which will come out before the World Cup. But you have to know, if you haven't watched the game against Girona, that he was in those first 45 minutes against Girona, he was outstanding. Perhaps some of the best 45 minutes we've seen from Messi. He scored 2 goals. He was involved in the other 2, assisted to Luis Suarez in one of them, and was involved in the other one from Luis Suarez. And just generally, his passes, his involvement, and the fact that he was surrounded by offensive players made it all an outstanding 45 minutes. Keep an eye as well, if you haven't seen it, on the free kick that he takes with the ball and the wall, and surprising everybody. The same way that Rivaldo and Ronaldinho, I put them together there, didn't I? Rivaldo and Ronaldinho made similar goals as well for Barcelona. So Messi was outstanding and has to be mentioned. And what's important as well is that we've seen a Barcelona that we may see in the future, perhaps not regularly this season, but had Dembele on the right hand side, and Messi was looking for him. And we'll talk about Dembele in the second thing that has happened in La Liga. But also Luis Suarez, Coutinho, who may started as a midfielder but ended up being a forward, and Messi. So four fantastic performance, four fantastic offensive players for Barcelona that could be a regular feature more often, of course, next season. Second thing from La Liga this weekend has to be Dembele. Dembele played for Barcelona, started for Barcelona. Remember that he was out for 4 months, that he actually, after got another injury, he was out for an extra month, and he has not adapted to the style of Barcelona and the pace of things. But he became already against Girona the player that recovered the ball more often for them, and the one who did more 1v1s. And as I said in the first part of this video, Messi looked for him, gave him advice. Messi's looking after him because he realizes that Dembele adds something that Barcelona haven't got: pace up front and width. He's not, Dembele, really just a winger. He's more than that, I think, and he will have to earn that right to be more than just a winger in the future. Same as when Neymar arrived for Barcelona. At first he was just played as a winger, and he grew into something else. Dembele will have to do exactly that. But he's only young, early 20s of course, and little by little you've seen more of him growing in confidence. Valverde wants to be patient with him, and the club is protecting him. They're doing a little documentary about his arrival to Barcelona, and they realize, while they've been doing that he's still struggling with his adaptation, with the language, of course. Nutrition, he had to change. Barcelona had to change that to him, because he didn't eat properly enough. Now he does, and he's got to open up to other players in the squad. So all those things have to happen for Dembele to succeed. I don't think we'll see a fantastic Dembele this season. There will be moments of glory for him, but the best of Dembele will arrive next season. Meanwhile, we're getting close to a moment that Dembele and everybody else at Barcelona will have to race to the occasion, and that will be the game against Atletico Madrid on Sunday. But first, Las Palmas. Talking of Atletico Madrid, the third thing that has impressed me this weekend is, of course, Atletico Madrid destroying Sevilla 5-2 at Sevilla with a great Griezmann, perhaps one of his best games for Atletico Madrid. And both Griezmann and Costa are working together really well, with and without the ball. If you've seen the game against Sevilla, Costa was the old Costa, battling and making sure that everything he did was on the edge very much on the edge. And Griezmann prefers always to play with a striker, so the Costa-Griezmann partnership is going to provide a lot of happy moments for Atletico Madrid fans this season, because of course there are clubs that want Griezmann next season, and 100 million euros for him, and that's what his buyer clause will go to. From 200 right now, in June it will be 100. It's a bargain. It's a bargain. He scored a hat-trick, gave an assist, a back heel to Koke, and he was outstanding. He was involved in absolutely everything that was happening with Atletico Madrid. He feels happy. You could see it in the way he celebrated the goals. He feels that he's performing at his best level yet again. 11 goals in La Liga, and he could help Atletico Madrid to win this league. Let's see what happens at the Camp Nou. Atletico Madrid have to play first against Leganés in midweek, and then on Sunday that will be the game of the season in the league anyway. Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, and I would not be surprised if Atletico Madrid scares Barcelona. It will be a match, we'll have time to talk about it next Friday, but a match that you should all be watching. That will be Sunday. 4, it has to be, of course, Real Madrid, and reaching the level that we all expected earlier in the season. They could not keep the consistency, hence the wish of changes, and more on that a little bit later. But this is Real Madrid has scored 30 goals in the last 7 games. This is Real Madrid that has got Cristiano Ronaldo scoring for fun yet again since the 20th of January. This is 6 games. He's scored 1 goal every 53 minutes. Before that, from the beginning of the season to that point, he was 1 goal every 311 minutes. So everybody smells glory, and Real Madrid gets to the best. The BBC scored yet again. It was the first time since April 2016 where they all did it in the same game. Cristiano Ronaldo, who was wearing the armband, he gave a penalty for Benzema to take it, and it was the first penalty that Benzema has taken in his career with Real Madrid in La Liga, the first one, and he scored. Now he's 4 goals in La Liga for him, and Bale scored as well. He was the best of the 3 of them this season, no doubt, but it was partly down to the fact that Asenjo was not in the game. So with that, we'll have to see if the BBC will still be the 3 chosen in the big games, because both Asenjo and Lucas Vázquez deserve to start some of the games. Lucas Vázquez has been extraordinary. 12 assists and 7 goals for somebody who's been off the radar or under the radar for a little while this season, but now you can see that he is very important, either starting or coming from the bench. So we've seen the best Real Madrid at the right time, just when back in Paris, PSG had the bad news of the injury from Neymar. At the moment, it seems like he will be ready for the Real Madrid game. Unai Emery sent that message that he will be okay, but we just don't know the details of his injury just yet, so we'll have to wait for that. And 5, an homage to 2 fantastic players, 2 players that made a great impact this weekend. On one hand, Asenjo, who helped, of course, Villarreal to get the 3 points, and it was down to him stopping 2 penalties against Getafe. Asenjo, who had 4 cruciate injuries in 7 years, 3 on the left-hand side, on the left knee, and 1 on the right knee. Somebody who, he says that his mind has to be studied, because he feels that the way he's recovered from all of that, it's something that it is to be praised. Lately, with the help of some of his colleagues in the profession, all the goalkeepers who have been on top of him, who have been looking after him, who have been sending him regular messages, like Ter Stegen, Pepe Reina, Iker Casillas, even Buffon sent a shirt to Asenjo as he was recovering from his last knee injury. Fantastic perform, of course. Now he's just helping Villarreal, top of his form, and Lopetegui will have to think about calling him back, perhaps even to be the 3rd goalkeeper in the World Cup. He is right now at that level, ahead of Sergio Rico, of course, who is at Sevilla struggling, and who has been a regular as a 3rd goalkeeper, was, if I'm not mistaken, the European Championships. So He could be the third goalkeeper, Sergio Asenjo, and he deserves it. The other one, Santi Mina. He scored 2 goals for Valencia, allowed Valencia to beat Real Sociedad. Santi Mina, who's very deceiving as a player, he's now the best goal scorer of Valencia with 14 goals in all competitions, 11 in the league, 3 in the cup. But he's a goal scorer, certainly. As a player, he's got to improve. Not only his attitude now is good, not so good last season, but his first touch is not great. His movements are not the cleverest, but he's a goal scorer. And sometimes when you have that, that's could be enough to make a very good career. By the way, his career may not take place at Valencia. Valencia paid 10 million euros for him, and they will be willing to sell him at the end of the season. They need to bring around 40 million euros before the season is over to comply with financial fair play, and he will be one of the players that they are willing to sell. So Premier League clubs could just keep an eye on him. And that's about it for the weekend. There's more games in midweek, and of course, as I said, later on Sunday, it will be Barcelona Atletico Madrid. So another exciting week for La Liga, and we'll be here to tell you all that. Cheers, bye.